dugsiga boardingka iyo maalinlaha ah ee Amano boarding and day.
Good morning from threes. Welcome back to our online lessons, Amano online classes. So this is our second lesson on this particular platform, and today I want to us to learn writing skills, and the topic is gonna be creative and narrative writing. So that's our today's topic. I want you to look at these. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Just imagine that you can't imagine anything. Okay? So knowledge is limited, but imagination encircles the world. Those are the words of Albert Einstein. So imagination encircles the world. Okay, imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire, you will what you imagine, and at last you create what you will. So with imagination, everything is possible. So when we teach about narrative writing or creative writing, it all starts by imagination. So today I want us to go into this lesson and see how we can produce a very good, excellent piece of creative writing. So I want you to look at this. Imagination creates reality. So things that we have had encounters with, and things that we haven't encountered yet. So that's what imagination is. So if you can look at these different colors here, you can see the hand. So you can imagine it's unlimited. This word no one can stop you from imagining. So let's go into the lesson and look at imaginative or creative writing. This is what really will absorb your readers in an entertaining way. Okay, so to succeed in your writing, you need to write in a way that is individual. So if Mohammed is writing, Hadia is writing, Salma is writing, Liban is writing, those are different people. So their writing should be individual, meaning original. Then compelling to read. People will be bored if your writing isn't good enough. But you have to make it unique. So that's what I want us to look. How do we do this one? So how do you come with original ideas? So there's no formula that I can say that this is the correct formula to have great ideas. But you begin writing, you need to at least have some kind of idea. So let's say you're writing about the beginning. Then you have to find a ways. How would you write that? So in creative part of it, taking something ordinary, and I want you to turn it into something extraordinary. That is the concept here. Taking something ordinary, then turning it into something that is extraordinary. How then do we do that? Okay, I want you to see this. Look at this picture. Oh, okay, this is a coastal line. You can see, we can look at this pillage of oil and everything, and deserted beach. Then that's something that. But imagine when everyone would be writing about going into a coastal line, maybe like Barbara, they'll be thinking about the place is full of people playing here and there and so many things. But you see, in how you're writing this, I can create something like this. That does not mean Barbara's beaches look like this. No, this is something that I create in my mind. I want to be original and create something that is unique, something that's original. So that's where you start from. So you think in a different way. So how are you going to tell this? So when you tell a friend a story about something that happened in the real life, you build it up around a climax action. Tell it in a way that keeps your friend interested and listening. Look, this is your friend Abdiakim, and you want to tell him something. In the real life situation, you have lots of tools, body language, the speech varies, the intonation, and all that. So, but if it's boring, definitely you'll see from his facial expression that he doesn't like the story. But imagine writing now. So you have to find a way in which you make something extraordinary. That's why I used those words at the beginning. So maybe you saw a footballer break his leg during a Saturday match, and you then tell it to in a school setting. Just how would you tell him that somebody can see clearly that they were playing football and he broke his leg? So think about that. Different students will tell you differently, but these are definitely what you need to come up with. Okay, so you have to find a way in which you bring the elaboration and explanation detail in a way, so write it in a very similar way to how you might tell it. So first of all, you can sketch down what you want before you start elaborating it. So, and as you elaborate, you also dramatize it, make it be something that creates that sense of tension. So this person is really waiting, your friend is waiting to tell you how the other person broke his leg during a football match. So where does it start and where is it leading to, and what happened next? So that's what you try to think about when you want to tell a story. Okay, so for short stories, this is what you do. You have to look at, is it compelling enough? So the story have their own basic recipe, so the genre of convention. So here we look at the structure, so moving into different stages. So there's the start, this is the middle, and then this end. Okay, so in an opening, what would you have? So this part of the story, you must work to engage the readers. The beginning, absorb them into your story world. If you fail to do that, then no one will read your story. You should aim to hook the reader into a story plot. So whereby, whether you choose to start a story by giving an end, just like Shakespeare did in Romeo and Juliet, or you can even start with lots of actions in the middle, or even very little action, you can definitely hook the reader. So this is what we aim at, that you grasp their attention, so you engage your readers, so absorb them into your world. That's the most important thing at the beginning. So think about that. Okay, then, so for example, what could possibly go wrong? So just imagine a situation like that. Sunset, you're driving along the highway, and that is what you try to create. So why sunset, and why are you still on the road? So think about that. If it's the beginning, then you can think about, oh, when did it all start? It was sunset when I was driving home, and this happened and that. So I want you to create that picture. I like creating pictures in my mind when I'm writing stories. Okay, look at this example. Okay, it was a brilliant summer day, smack in the middle of the school holiday. It was my birthday too. I was 10. You can imagine I was feeling, that life couldn't get much better than this. Warm weather, holidays, a bar of chocolate, all to myself, a bunch of texts from my mates to answer, and being driven with mom and dad to Tyson Zoo. They knew just how much I loved animals, and the chimps were always my favorites. What could possibly go wrong? What that day, any thoughts of my problems weren't even a distant cloud in the horizon of my mind. So that's how you can create something like that. So don't just come, but look at how you hook the reader. So what could possibly go wrong? So this is what they are going to look at. Okay, what could possibly go wrong? Then you have to hook them and leave them with that urge, wanting to read more and more. So that's just an example of an opening. Okay, so let's move on here. So you have to look at the setting, establish time and the place and the situation. Then you come down to introducing your main characters. Okay, then there's also fiction trigger or inciting incidents. So you have to bring those incidents that the narrator feel like, okay, the chain of events, this event triggers another one and another one. Then you move to find a way in which you can face that problem, and if you have to solve it and overcome it, how are you going to go about that? Okay, so then the fiction trigger can be an event that really starts a story. It will develop. For example, I want you to look at that. If the story is about a day out in a zoo, then maybe an animal has escaped, you see. If maybe your story is about a robbery, it might be the event that makes the character consider carrying out a robbery. What really inspired this person to carry such kind of act? And if it's about an accident, then it will be an event that causes it to happen. What caused the accident to happen? You're driving along the road, okay, and what maybe some you saw some lightning or something happened. So what really triggered that? So that's how you are supposed to hook your readers into your story. Then you have to keep the momentum. So many students lose it when they are doing narrative writing. You know, that's momentum to maintain your readers to keep on going. So that's the stage what I call the middle of your work. So you build tension and absorb and guessing what will lead. Don't tell them everything. Let them keep on guessing where the story is going to lead to. So, okay, so this is where you'll move to the story forward and use lots of techniques. Okay, in our next lesson, I will focus mainly on these particular techniques. So, but today I'll just mention them. It can be rhetorical questions, etc. But today I will stick just to looking at what they are like. Okay, so let's move on here. And then you reach the climax. So the problem reaches the head, and with suspense creating lots of tension, showing the reader possible result of what will come next. So you can either decide when you take it to the resolution, or maybe you can end in the suspense thereafter. So this is not the end of your story. It's not quite. It will be the key event that about the protagonist will and how they will overcome it. So as we come to a conclusion, or what you call a resolution in the story, this must leave the reader with a sense of satisfaction. It could be a twist in the tale of living question that linger in the mind if you are ending suspense. So when you end a story, you have to look, all those loose ends must be tied. So a good story will cause the reader to go, I like that. Wow, that is what a good story should be. So think about when you're writing. So when you follow the structure and plan well, then definitely you'll come up with something that will be good enough. So we've come to the end of the lesson. So what I want you to go there is try to broaden your imagination and write a good story. See you in our next lesson. Otherwise, stay safe.